Did you see Antonio Brown quit football
Yes.
the other day in the middle of a
Why?
football game?
Is
Well,
that how,
there's
Arian
two
Foster
sides.
left, or was it not mid-game? Did I just make that up in my head?
Did he walk off? Surely he
It
didn't
was
walk off the field.
mid-season, and it was in a game he discovered that he wasn't passionate about winning
Oh,
anymore.
I remember hearing this, and he just said that he didn't want to. He retired mid-game, but it was not a spectacle. It was just people wondering why he didn't continue to play. Whereas Antonio Brown literally removed his clothing and threw his shit into the opposing team's fans, and then walked
Really?
off.
Oh, you haven't seen the best of it.
No,
It's
I
like
haven't seen this
he
video.
didn't walk off through the sideline. He walked across the field like
During an offensive drive.
he walked across the field shirtless, and he's just like waving to the fans as he goes, and he's just like, "Fuck all of y'all." He just quit. Tom Brady is back there trying to win the game, and Antonio's got his shirt off, heading to his car.
So he's a wide receiver with Brady, right? Am I right about that?
He
I
don't
was
know football that well.
he has a very storied and troubled past, behavioral and otherwise, both with Pittsburgh, where he got his big start with the Steelers, to where he moved in with Brady when he first came down there. And he bounced around. I think he was with the Rams or somebody for like 6 days. He's very troubled, and at Raiders. Yeah, what I can only assume is, and especially while looking at this, is a very visible example of CTE, right? Like concussion damage and head injury issues. Like, he is a wild person, but this story isn't like, the story's wild because why he walked off is now a point of contention. He said that, let me try and like give you a quick rundown. He said that the coach of the Buccaneers walked over to him and said, "Hey, you got to go in and play." And Antonio Brown, who's been injured and hasn't played for a couple days with his ankle injury, etc., was like, "Coach, I don't think I can go in." So Coach Arian, according to Antonio Brown, made a slicing across the neck motion with his thumb and said, "You're done." And so Antonio Brown then said, "Well, fuck you. I'm quitting the team," and left. A lot of this stems on Antonio Brown basically saying, "Hey, the coach didn't know I was injured, and I said I'm down to play, but I don't know if I can play this drive." And he thinks that he got cut from the team. To try and maybe normalize this, Antonio Brown also thought that his personal dietitian left the head of a salmon in his freezer as a threat to his life.
Did the dietitian do that?
No, he saved it for soup stock, as you would probably with a head of a fish.
They saved it for soup stock.
I don't know. You leave a fish head in my freezer. I'm taking it personally.
So basically, there's somebody who has a Reddit thread that goes through every absurd thing in the last 6 years to 8 years that Antonio Brown has gone through. The man, in his best moments, is very rough to try and explain, right? He has outbursts and experiences that are just fucking weird, even if you removed.
Can we pause? Is he really, really good at football? Because he's
really
a lot to put up with.
Incredibly good at football. Like, first round ballot Hall of Famer if the last 4 years didn't happen. And even then, like, people were just willing to be like, well, he's kind of an asshole and we don't really understand it, but he's that good at catching balls.
I think if I was that good at catching balls, I'd be a bit of an asshole too, right? Why would you be the perfect teammate when you've earned a little capital? You know, you know what, coach? I like it when you suck my dick. I'm saying, I like it a lot. We're gonna have to do that on the sidelines. And
all right, here, let me explain. I'm just gonna throw out some random things from this like limited timeline. When he got hired by the Raiders, he refused to play football because the NFL changed what would be an acceptable helmet that would protect the player, right? So he refused to play with any helmet that wasn't his old helmet. So the NFL's like, you can't play. And so then he made an entire event around him trying to find an old helmet that would fit the right whatever, like the right like format for that. and then suited up to play and then wore his old helmet into the game. Antonio Brown is fully vaccinated. However, bought a fake COVID card from his old personal chef because he didn't want to deal with getting a COVID card.
So he's been like dealing with CTE for a while then. So it's probably for the best. I mean, for someone to leave a fish head in your freezer and for you to take that as a threat is like something is seriously off.
It's easy to explain every weird thing a football player ever does away with CTE. It
is easy to say that.
I just want to say crazy people play football too.
Yeah, right. I think that this is a borderline case where somebody is behaving so abnormally throughout so many years of getting the shit knocked out of them that the easy response is CTE is a causation of this. But I do not think that is the only reason why he's like this, because when I say there's a book that can be written about the things that he did, said, didn't do, or otherwise that don't even fit the right like format of brain injury, the guy is a diva at its core.
And he's like been doing this for years and years. It's not like the last 4 years of his career he went off.
He's that good at football.
He's so good at football.
He's so good.
Such a good football player.
About winning. Right?
He really does care about winning.
But no, you're not following me. Antonio whatever his name is, should be asking his coach for head, and if his coach doesn't do it, that coach doesn't want to win.
That's true. That is true. The problem is that he was on the Steelers for a while, and his Tomlinson kept him in lock. He has been asking for head. Whereas that's the issue is he's been outright like showing up at the Raiders and he was like, who's sucking my dick? And they're like, we're pretty desperate. We're not that desperate. So they just let him go. So the issue is that the issue is that he's actually asking people to suck his dick. And it's unironic. The poor guy, I really truly try and think to myself that there are people that he really is just going through it. But this did just come out that Antonio Brown snuck this person into his hotel, a OnlyFans model. Antonio Brown also likes getting shit on his chest.
What's bad? First of all, he has an OnlyFans model in his hotel. I don't know why there's any sneaking involved.
COVID.
Also, you just can't night before the game. You can't just whisk a woman away in the dead of night.
Ronda Rousey used to do that. She said that sex released testosterone and that she would get boned before a big fight.
Ronda Rousey got knocked the fuck out twice in a row.
Yeah, maybe she should have kept some of that testosterone.
She has a garden now.
She has a garden now.
She was the best ever until somebody was better.
She was the best ever until someone else came up and dominated her, and then someone else came up and dominated her. I remember we even talked about this years ago. It must be 6-7 years ago when Joe Rogan was saying shit I think that she could take down some male fighters. She's the best of the best there's ever been. It's Joe, I get it. It's your job to pump up everybody's tires and you're a hype guy. You're trying to get, but I think a lot of people really bought into it. And I think a lot the three of us even said on the show, she is just the fucking, the guy in 1909 in MLB who figured out how to bunt a ball.
Let me reply to this. Joe Rogan talked about that, and he said that when he said that, he believed it. He thought it was true, and in hindsight, he cringes at what he said. So
fair enough. Good of him. I'm sure his opinions change because he's a commentator for a very burgeoning sport even now, and so the best of the best of the best from 10 years ago. Who? There's been 3 best of the best since then. You're gonna have to give me a name.
It's fun.
It's
the
true.
Greatest of all time.
Nobody's going to speak our names in the greatest hierarchy of commentators, all right? And yet here we are, us 4.
Here we are.
Right?
We're the guys in the UFC
we
go 2-15 and help bolster everybody else's records.
You son of a bitch. Nobody talks about Babe Ruth. They talk about Alex Rodriguez and his $150 million, all right?